What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new video. In today's video, we are going to be doing my review of Peacemaker Season 2, Episode 6. This was such a phenomenal episode. I cannot wait to get into it. So without further ado, let's do it. Alright, so starting off with the good, and this entire episode is going to be nothing but good. I don't think I had a single complaint of this episode, but near the end, we are going to go into a little bit of a controversial topic based on how this episode is. You know, the ending is a little controversial if you have seen it. Alright, so let's start into the things that I liked. Everything, starting in the beginning all the way to the end, like I said, is just fantastic to me. I mean, the way... First of all, James Gunn is so good at doing this. He can take the most serious of situations and make them into such good comedy at appropriate times. Obviously, there are times where things need to be more serious, and he does that. But even just starting off this episode, you know, immediately the gang is going to find Chris, and they're going to cross over into this other dimension, but they got to find a place to put the portal or whatever. So the whole sequence in Adrian's house with his mom is just fucking hysterical, and she's like calling Harcourt a slut, and she's like, apparently he's been telling her, his mom, all these lies that him and Harcourt are together and they're dating and stuff. Such a funny sequence. Obviously, when they set the door portal up and all the cocaine goes everywhere, fucking hilarious. The comedy between this group of people is just like unmatched. It's unlike anything I've ever seen in a superhero project before. They all have such good chemistry, and they're all so funny together. And obviously they go into the alternate universe, you know. And obviously the episode really starts off with the whole with the lunch sequence. You know, it's Peacemaker, his dad, and his brother, and Harcourt from the other universe. And this is when they start laying down some real hints that this world may not be as perfect as we all think it is, which I love. They've been dropping like little tiny things here and there, but now we're really starting to see it. And you know, this episode is just chock full of like just like big, like mind-blowing sequences and you know, interactions and stuff. So obviously they end up getting there. They're in Peacemaker's house from that universe or whatever, and Harcourt has the most awkward conversation with Peacemaker's brother or whatever. They're talking again, just another funny ass back and forth talk. Really liked again how they keep dropping all like these, like, not even just Easter eggs about like what's going on the planet, but just like things like that shows it's a different Earth. Like when they're in the car driving together, he's talking about the Beatles and Halloween, like the two biggest bands in their universe. Just little stuff like that. It builds a world that feels lived in, which I always appreciate, even though if it's just a small detail, I always appreciate that. And, you know, and then obviously John and Harcourt, or Chris and Harcourt, have that really serious talk in the interrogation room about, which I love too. He just completely, like, both of them completely come undone in terms of letting out their feelings, you know. He tells her straight up that he's in love with her. And he already knew that, she knew that. But just that whole conversation that they have, it just felt like they're not holding back anymore, and they're just, you know, they're talking. Obviously, she still feels like she's holding back a bit. She's definitely in love with him too. She's just not ready to admit it yet. And, you know, she's crying, she's breaking down. I thought that was a really good scene. I really did like that. And then obviously we have the big cameo so far in the season. Fucking Lex Luthor shows up, which was so amazing. And I did kind of know it was coming, because as soon as he says, he's talking to Flurry, he's like, make a call to Belle Reve, I want to go visit a prisoner there. The moment he said that, I knew it was going to be Lex. And so now they're working together, and that whole sequence where he's like referencing Dr. Phosphorus, and he referenced that Killer Croc. He said like a bear-sized man with alligator scales or some shit. And like just the dialogue there was hilarious. It's just like, you know, Lex cursing and stuff. It's just not stuff you're used to hearing from him, because we've only ever seen him in Superman. And so they crack a deal. That whole scene where they're on the other side of the glass, and he's like, I can offer you redemption, and Lex is like, I'm listening. It just shows that Lex isn't as much of a piece of shit as Lex is, and as evil as he is. You can tell there's still like a kernel of, he wants to do the right thing for Earth, even if his methods are just completely evil. And I think that's going to lead in eventually to Man of Tomorrow, which we already know is going to be a team-up movie between Lex and Superman. I cannot wait for that. But yeah, that part was great. Obviously, they're setting that up for the next. You know, they're kind of just, they're setting that up for you know, how like the team up, they're setting that up for the next episode, because he says to Rick Flag, he's like, I know a guy you can go talk to, and I already know who it's going to be, and I've been talking to my friend about this, and he doesn't think it's going to be the guy from Superman, the dude with the glasses and the big mustache. I forget his name, but the big goofy guy who worked for Lex. I guarantee that's who it's going to be, but I don't know, I could be wrong. But yeah, so I like that they set up that for like the next episode. And then obviously the controversial ending of, you know, Adebayo goes out for a walk and everybody starts staring at her, and this is coincided at Argus. Harcourt starts to realize, like, there's no people of color here, and that's when we find out it is indeed Earth X. And if you guys don't know, in the comics, Earth X is a world where the Nazis won the war. I'm sure you guys probably know this by now. You probably heard it a million times, but in case you haven't, I'll explain it. Where the Nazis won the war, and so everybody's just an ultimate racist, and only white people really are allowed to exist. And so you got the scene where she's walking down the street, which I find it hilarious. I understand that it maybe is a little insensitive to people of color. And I totally get it, why some people are upset. But you also have to understand that it's comedy, right? It's a show. Me personally, I'm just speaking for myself here. I can't speak for anybody else. If they did something in a show where they're like, oh, look, it's a white, the white got out, lock him up, I wouldn't be mad. I would laugh. I find it funny. So I think people do have to understand that there is a difference between comedy and just trying to be hurtful. James Gunn is not trying to be hurtful. He's sincerely just trying to be funny and make good comedy. And so when I see people online like trashing James Gunn, saying he's a racist and all this bullshit, like, go fuck yourself. Just go fuck yourself. And for the people who are just genuinely hurt and not calling, oh, James Gunn's a racist, fuck James Gunn, or just maybe got offended by it, I understand. Again, just want to preface, he obviously didn't mean to be racist. And again, I'm already telling you right now, G.I. Robot is going to show up, and he is going to kill all those Nazis. I guarantee you that's what's going to happen. So hopefully that'll make people feel a little bit better about it. But it is what it is. And obviously, like, you know, John Cena grabs the flag and he sees the logo. I'm not going to say what it is, but you know what I'm talking about. He sees the Nazi logo. And it's just that realization. It's like, oh, shit. She's like, yep, this world isn't as perfect as she thought it was it? And then the whole scene of Adebayo running down the street and everybody's chasing her was hilarious, fucking hysterical. This entire episode was fantastic. By far the best episode of Peacemaker. And this just makes me so excited for all the shit we're going to get in the next 2 episodes. I'm telling you, I think we're getting G.I. Robot as a cameo, and I think we're going to get an Earth X Superman as a cameo. And I think he's going to be played by David, but I think it's going to be an evil version. And whether he'll look different or not, I think he probably will. I think his suit is going to have a Nazi logo on it instead of an S. But again, we'll see. But yeah, like I said, everything about this episode was peak. The best episode by far. Arguably the best Peacemaker episode in terms of ever. Yeah, nothing bad to say about this episode at all. They nailed it. It was perfect. Fantastic. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review. If you did, make sure to drop a like, comment, subscribe. I will be posting my episode 7 review tomorrow when the new episode comes out. So yeah, have a good day, guys.